Welcome to the Intuitive Hour with psychic medium, author, and intuitive life coach, Michelle Beltran. The Intuitive Hour will empower you to learn how to magnify your intuitive voice. Listen in and expand your understanding of what it means to be psychic and how to awaken, amplify, and trust your inner voice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is the Intuitive Hour. Awaken your inner voice. I'm your host, Michelle Beltran. As always, thank each and every one of you for being with me here today. All right, today on tap, the top 6 successful characteristics of psychics. Before we get into that, though, I want to do a little bit of Psychic Development 101. Talk about psychic proof, scientific proof behind psychic functioning. Talk a little bit about how you can develop your psychic abilities, and then also guide you a bit on how to learn more about developing your psychic and intuitive sense. All right, so getting started, Psychic Development 101. For those of you just beginning, and even for the veterans here, this is probably some good reminder. Who or what is a psychic? All right, a psychic is a person who recognizes the supernatural capabilities of the mind and works to expand their knowledge and skills, developing those abilities lying outside the realm of physical science or earthly understanding. These are powers and abilities that function outside the domain of natural laws. Your psychic ability and intuition involve skills to interpret, manipulate, and report on events and information that can't be acquired within the sphere of physical science. It is beyond that. As psychics, we deal with things pertaining to the human soul and mind. We work with energy. We engage in powers relating to spiritual forces, the immaterial, and the influences of universal energy. These efforts, in time, result in the development of insights and abilities, very much like telepathy and clairvoyance. People who have worked at developing their psychic and intuitive abilities typically find they become proficient in one or several of the activities commonly referred to as mediumship, clairvoyance, telepathy, mind reading, ESP, and even palmistry. All right, so I'm often asked, am I psychic? And how psychic am I? If you've been following my work, you know that I teach, yes, you are psychic, and we all are. Psychic abilities can be acquired by anyone who takes the time and makes that effort to study and learn. It isn't necessary to be highly evolved or believe in psychic inclinations that may have occurred in childhood. Everyone has psychic potential, but their abilities often remain inactive until something triggers them into action. Psychic ability, like any skill, develops only when we want, desire, and practice it. It fades if it's neglected, in the same way that anything else we're learning does. There is actually scientific proof behind psychic functioning, and Dr. Russell Targ is behind this proof. That psychic powers exist is gaining ground. We've reached great momentum since the 60s and 70s. Thousands practice the art, and thousands more believe. Physicist and author Russell Targ states in his book, The Reality of ESP, the scientific evidence that we all possess psychic abilities is, and I quote, now overwhelming, and modern physics has the means and tools to embrace it. If you haven't checked out Russell Targ's book, please do so. Once again, The Reality of ESP, a physicist's proof of psychic abilities. Mediums and psychics have been relaying messages and conducting readings for thousands and thousands of years. Even Solomon sought the advice of a spiritualist and received it. Although he acted against God's instructions, the result was he obtained information about the outcome of an upcoming battle. Today, there are a large number of spiritualists practicing and believing and embracing than ever before, and there is a greater acceptance of spiritual expressions. 72% of all Americans describe themselves as spiritual, but not religious. Oprah Winfrey, Richard Bach, Louise Hay, and Neale Donald Walsch are just some of these people. So, yes, indeed, that psychic veil is thinning. Our work as psychics and healers and intuitives, it is no longer considered taboo. And people who side with those beliefs are no longer considered bizarre, creepy, or peculiar as they once were. The psychic profession is now accepted. It's a practice that endeavors to uncover an inner view of the soul and the universal connection of souls. As a psychic, as an intuitive, we are all souls and we are all connected, and we know this. And we know we are all psychic on some level. How adept we become at using those psychic tendencies is up to us. Growth takes training. All right, so the top 6 characteristics of psychics, the meat of our episode today. As a psychic, the most important thing is to pay particular attention to your inner voice and listen to this inner urging. This is very much like that gut sense. You know something, but you don't know how. The inner voice is your soul speaking to you. Listen to it. Trust it. Next, pay attention to your body. Your body is a vehicle and a messenger of psychic information. Trust in that. Psychics make time for solitude and take advantage of opportunities to contemplate the mysteries of existence. They consider the otherworldly. They quiet their mind. They have a sacred space that they go to where they make an agreement with their left brain that they'll come back to all the to-dos of the world and today another time, and create a solitude, a peace, moments of quiet. Sometimes it's for 5 minutes a day, but it's done and it matters. Successful psychics cherish creativity, such as art, music, dance. They put time into feeding that creativity. They observe everything around them and attempt to make sense of what they see. They're observers. They can stand outside and look in and see the depth of what's happening around them. They are drawn to finding the truth in others and in the world. Finally, as a psychic, paying attention to your dream is paramount. This is where we receive extremely important, insightful information and guidance. All right, are any of these present in your life? One of the best ways to receive psychic information as you begin developing your intuition is through your dreams. Be sure to listen to my Dreams series here at the Intuitive Hour. You'll find this helpful. This will support your learning and how to receive psychic impressions and guidance in your own life. All right, so you're a psychic and you want to learn more. So choosing an avenue for focusing and directing your psychic leanings is neither complicated nor elaborate. It begins with acknowledging the fact that no matter what you want to do, some form of skilled instruction and training must be involved. There is no occupation or profession, whether or not you have an exalted talent for it, which does not require learning. A talent, inclination, or a wish to become something is not an end in itself. You must take whatever talent you have and build upon that foundation a fortress of skill and knowledge. All right, everyone, we have come to the end of our episode. I hope you've enjoyed it today. As always, for any questions, comments, or suggestions on future episodes, please reach out at mbeltran@michellebeltran.com. Thank you once again for being with me today, and I look forward to meeting with you all next week.
Thanks for listening to the Intuitive Hour with Michelle Beltran. If you like what you heard, please share our podcast with a friend, and be sure to visit michellebeltran.com to get Michelle's popular Develop Your Clairvoyance ebook.